What's up? Good afternoon.
Hello. Give it
on,
up for
buddy?
Tristan. Yeah. Woo! Okay. Thank you so much for joining us today here at TechCrunch Disrupt, the 20th anniversary of TechCrunch Disrupt. Now, Tristan, you've got a lot going on off the court, and a lot of it is crypto. What attracted you to the crypto space?
Well, I think that's the question that everybody wants to ask, right? They're like, what is Tristan Thompson doing in this space, right?
Yeah.
You know, from seeing me on the basketball court or seeing what I've done off the court from pop culture-wise, why crypto? And I think for me is I would kind of give BlackRock a little reason why this all came together. I remember just a little backstory. Back in 2021, you know, when you always do your meetings with your financial advisors, I remember during that time, I said, hey, you know, I want to buy some Bitcoin. I want to like expand my portfolio and buy Bitcoin, and what do you guys think about that? And the first thing they said to me was, oh, it's too volatile. And the one thing about, you know, anyone that knows about BlackRock, you know, they love to strut their stuff and say how great they are. We manage trillions of dollars for all these people, for all these countries, just like, it was almost like the shut up and give me your money and don't ask questions, right? But for me, being who I am, and from the world I'm from, it kind of ignited that. I was like, okay, they had an issue with it, but the next thing you know, a couple of months later, you start seeing Larry Fink buying Bitcoin and they're accumulating. So I said, okay, you guys have a problem when I want to extract my money from this portfolio and go have the custodial and own my own Bitcoin and be able to control that. You guys rather just be almost like the middleman and say, hey, give me your money, we'll make money off you, and you just enjoy the fruits of the labor. So for me, that's
Wait, do you have nothing in traditional investment? It's all Bitcoin now?
No, I spread, no, listen, one thing about me, I say, listen, expand your portfolio and have a little bit of everything, but that conversation made me curious.
Right.
And because of that, it got me into the space to want to learn more, and it's got me to where I am today.
And so now you're talking about like financial, you know, owning your own finances, financial empowerment. You're part of a new venture called World Mobile, and this is about bringing internet access. And there is a crypto play here because it's each node or a piece of infrastructure that emits internet access is connected to the blockchain. I would love it if you told everyone a little bit more about World Mobile, and then we can get into some of the news behind it. Yeah, no,
so World Mobile, it's obviously on the blockchain, but I almost imagine Uber for telecommunication, right? I think these conglomerates, AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, they have done a good job just extracting from our communities, but never empowering entrepreneurs, never empowering people to basically take their privacy back. You know, look at our phones. It's listening to everything that we know and talk about.
Well, I don't know if it's as highly regulated. I'm not sure it's listening to us.
Listen, for me personally, when I talk about...
So maybe certain people are listening, but I don't know that are the telcos.
Yeah, well, listen, at the end of the day, I feel like privacy is a big thing, and that's something that World Mobile we're providing. We're giving you back your privacy. We're also empowering entrepreneurs, right? For myself and communities, and this is why it hit home, was that you're able to purchase an AirNode and be able to provide connectivity to your area, but also it generates income and revenue where you can give back to your communities. Especially a guy where I'm from the inner cities, we never had those kind of opportunities to become entrepreneurs. We were just, you know, play sports and figure it out. So the fact that they're able to create this rev share economy, it was definitely exciting, and you know, that's why we're here today to have some more news about it.
Yeah, and so we have some news. We actually have a clip to show you. If the people in the back might play that clip for us, and then Tristan will walk us through it.
Putting up a radio.
Okay.
Into the back of a Starlink or your home connection.
Okay.
And then that's going to propagate. They're going to put two back to back. So one's propagating 180 this way, 180 that way, and then you're going to have perfect coverage wherever you go as soon as you leave your house.
Yeah.
Whenever someone from a mobile network that we have an interconnect with passes here, they pay you. You generate an income, which is also...
That's the cool part too. There's a program with World Mobile that allows people to create revenue in their communities. I always imagine like East Cleveland, an area that's been neglected and no one's cared about for the last 15 years. If I'm able to bring connectivity to that community and create revenue there, you could take that revenue stream and put it back into these community centers, put it back into the schools, put it back into housing projects to build back a community, and it all just started with telco.
So this is called Uplift. This is a subsidiary of World Mobile. And explain why it's different than World Mobile and what kind of opportunities you hope that it brings to entrepreneurs in disadvantaged communities.
Well, for me, it's about how can I help people that have walked a similar life that I walked. And I think for us, what we're doing is providing connectivity and connection for unlimited data at a way lower cost than the market.
How much is it?
$9.99.
$9.99 to
unlimited data.
access
Yeah.
unlimited data, but that's in your community, right?
Yes. So the way we have it set up, where you'll have data and access within your community. But I loved it, the fact that also, like you said, with World Mobile, you still have the whole AirNode component. But I think for me, it's like, how can I help my community have a better tomorrow? And that's what this is about. And I've been very blessed and fortunate to have a team that understands this vision. And we want to help people in America, help the inner city, and just give people hope.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you describe this as kind of like Uber, but for internet infrastructure. I don't know if you've taken an Uber lately, but when you talk to Uber drivers, they're not always that happy, right? Like, it's a lot of money to maintain a car, to buy a car, to have to do all that, and like the margins are actually kind of low. How is this different? Like, do people, like, if I wanted to set this up, would I have to spend the money on that node?
Yeah, so you have to, what I like about this is that when I was talking to kids in Cleveland and young teenagers, what we're going to do also is raise money and create funds where people can put money together to end up donating them to communities. And that's the cool thing about this, is that there's always a give back component. And I think that's the most important. Like, we're so also blessed and fortunate to be where we're at, but it doesn't mean nothing unless we're able to help others, right? So what we're able to do is put these AirNodes and really, and like you said, sometimes Uber drivers are upset about the rates and what they take home, but for us, it's not about that. The money that they're gonna be making is gonna be, they'll be very happy in terms of, especially the APYs that they'll be receiving. Right.
So they are able to make money off of their community, but they do have to pay for the installation of the node. Do they have to pay for the maintenance?
No, we fully insure. We take care of the maintenance. So if, let's say, a storm comes and the power's down, you call our team. Our team gets out there in the next couple hours, sets it up, and gets you back connected. So we take care of all that.
Yeah, I mean, it's so interesting, like trying to disrupt the telecoms infrastructure. This is a hard business to try to get into and disrupt. What kind of regulatory approvals do you need?
I mean, we're fully regulatory, we're fully regulated. We have all, we've been approved by all the companies, been approved by everything. So it's nothing, one thing about me, I'll never want to put anybody in danger or harm's way. So everything's above board. We're fully approved, fully backed. And
how, have you tested this? Like, where is it now? Where is it today? Where's World Mobile?
So we actually started in Reno. I think we brought about 20% of Reno back to connectivity. There was a lot of areas in Reno that did not have that. We actually were, when the hurricane happened in North Carolina, in Asheville, Starlink went out there and tried to bring connectivity, and they weren't able to. So people in Asheville actually reached out to the World Mobile team, and we were able to get out there and send a couple of our guys on helicopters to fly in, and we were actually one that brought connectivity back to Asheville, North Carolina during that hurricane.
Wow. Okay, that's great. And so you're working with Starlink to access this internet?
Well, we were able to help them, yeah.
Yes, okay. And so your title is Digital Equity Officer, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so how do you measure digital equity?
I mean, listen, the one thing, I'm a positionless guy. It's very similar to sports, right? A position is just a position, a name is a name. It's like, how can you impact? How can you make a difference? So the titles are great, but it's like, what are you trying to do? What are you trying to accomplish? So for me, like we said, is attack the inner city, attack low-income areas, because I'm from those areas, and it means a lot to me to help uplift and bring that power back.
Okay, speaking of sports, like, how has your background and your sports background contributed to this new path you're taking towards entrepreneurship?
I think it's the same thing. I think sports, what I tell people, me being a parent, I think everything's about team. It's very, very rarely it's a one-man show. And what I've learned in basketball is understanding human behavior, understanding personalities, and aligning yourself with people that have the same demeanor and drive and work ethic like you. So for myself in the space, I've only wanted to associate myself with people with that kind of DNA, because listen, at the end of the day, we might create something, we might fail, which is okay. But at least I know that me and you went in the foxhole together. We were 2 feet in, we're about the same thing, and I just gave it a try to see if it can work.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, again, I wanted to take it back to talking about financial freedom and crypto. This is obviously a very risky and volatile space. Most people who've invested in crypto have actually lost money. How do you think that, what approach are you taking with World Mobile or with any of your other, I know you've got Axon DAO, which is a health-focused venture that we can talk about as well, but how are you ensuring that kind of protection going forward for people?
Yeah, what I always tell people is obviously do your education and understand where or who are you getting in business with, right? So for myself, like anything, I think the way we got to look at it is that there's good people and there's bad. There's good doctors, there's bad doctors. There's good police officers, bad police. Listen, not everyone's perfect, but it's who you want to associate yourself with. And for me, when I'm talking to other celebrities, athletes, and people that want to get into this space, is I say, here, do your research. But if you guys want help, I could tell you the people that I've been around, OGs in the space that have been in for many cycles, whether it's Ryan Fang or Olaf, guys like that have been about the right thing and built some great product. That's the people you want to associate yourself with. So for me, I've been fortunate. I haven't, been around any of the bad apples, knock on wood. So I've been counting my blessings with that.
Yeah, and you told me previously that you were kind of, on your team with the Cavaliers, you often serve as sort of a financial coach, like helping, people understand more about how to have financial literacy. Do you feel like in these roles with World Mobile, for example, is that part of your role within the company, just kind of trying to talk to people outside to try to teach them about this world?
Yeah, I mean, I have my teammates every day. I remember Donovan Mitchell actually called me after called me after me leaving KBW. It's like, man, what are you doing in Korea? And I'm like, while they're talking keynote, like talking about crypto, talking about like the projects I'm building. He's like, man, tell me more. Like, I want to know. So like, the one thing about athletes and celebrities that, everyone's sometimes nervous to be the first to do something, but if you have the conviction and the willpower and okay to stand at the forefront of this, a lot of guys want to listen and learn. And I think that's kind of what I've been in the locker room, kind of been the elder statesman that's been giving, whether it's me telling guys to, hey, with your financial advisors, audit them every 2 years. With your financial guys, ask how much percentage they're taking off any investments they're making, right? What are the kickbacks? You got to ask these questions, because the reality is that everyone in here knows, right? What's the narrative about most athletes? When they walk in, they make a lot of money at an early age, and when they leave, they have less than everyone expected, right? So how can we break that cycle? And I take a lot of ownership of that to put myself in position to help change that narrative.
I would love to hear just like a little bit about your other venture, Axon DAO. Okay, so this is decentralized science collective where users are able to control their own health data. Can you explain to the audience what that's about and why you're interested in this at all?
Yeah, I mean, Axon DAO meant a lot to me just because, so for anyone who doesn't know, my brother Amari, he's 19, he has epilepsy, and he has LGS. So if you put into context, 1 out of 100 children have epilepsy, but 1 out of 50,000 children with epilepsy have the version that Amari has. So for Amari, he doesn't speak, doesn't walk, doesn't talk. So I have full-time nursing caregivers, 2 of them taking care of him around the clock. And for me, what my family went through growing up in Toronto and in Canada with the healthcare system and that, sometimes, to be honest, quite frankly, sometimes universal is not always the best option. But from low-income families, it's all we have. So for us, we went through so many different trials for Amari, which I got to a point now where I was in MBA, was very fortunate to have the means to be able to have him see specialists. And one specialist at UCLA, Dr. Hussein, said, Tristan, I hate to give you bad news, but I wish we met each other 5-7 years earlier, because we had treatments that could have potentially gave Amari a different life, a more easier life compared to what he's going through now. And for me, that just motivates me. How can I be a part, especially with Axon DAO, what they're doing is putting your healthcare data on chain. Imagine I was able to get a hold of Dr. Hussein 10 years ago, right? And know the treatments that he's doing at UCLA, to give that to Amari. And I think being on the blockchain, it allows you that opportunity. It's no different if there's a doctor in Kenya that has a treatment that obviously is not approved here in America, just to be able to have that conversation and us even explore that, right? I want to be able to give the family behind me a chance that I was never given. And I think that's what the DNA with Axon DAO is using the blockchain is about.
Okay, so this is so that you are able to share your health data. Well, basically, you can own your own health data, right? Starting with wearables, you're hoping to branch out into just your general health data that is on the blockchain. You own that, and if you so choose, you can get incentivized to share that data with researchers who might be able to help you in this kind of a scenario. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, and then so again, healthcare, highly regulated, right? This is a tough space to disrupt. When you hear crypto and healthcare put together, how do you ensure that people would actually have the trust to get involved in something like this?
Yeah, I think we're very fortunate to have a lot of doctors, whether it's from Johns Hopkins or from Cleveland Clinic, to be part of this movement. We've had a lot of physicians that are part of the Axon DAO team, which that also gives you a stamp. It's no different than anything, right? If you create a great tech and project, but you have no one that's part of that space that stamps and wants to be a part of the journey, people start to question and ask. But obviously, the great thing about the blockchain is, through smart contracts. So it's not like, it says Amari Thompson's medical data, right? It's all smart contract, so you have that privacy, but you have that protection as well. But for me, it's just, I look at every sector of life and say, where can we make these improvements? Where are the areas that we can get better at? And I feel like this is one that we can, give people a better tomorrow.
Can someone download and delete their data if they wanted to?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah, you can
So
download
fully
it,
theirs?
yes.
Yeah. Okay, and this is not the only crypto blockchain focused venture you have now. The next one is more of your baby, right? It's called Basketball.fun. And this, to me, looks like crypto plus sports betting plus a little bit of the Hunger Games. So please explain to the audience what exactly this new product is.
You know, the crazy, I think everything we were talking about today, what I'm part of, is like disrupt. Exactly what this conference is about. Like disrupt. Like me coming and disrupting the markets on areas that I think need to be improved. So for Basketball.fun, it's a platform that we built on Somnia. Myself and Herman Narula, who's the co-founder of Somnia, a great friend of mine, brilliant mind. We looked at this and we said, let's look at sports, right? And fan engagement. What we always preach, and if you listen to media, what is the number one thing that owners and players say? The fans are everything. They mean without the fans, we are nothing. But let's put our money where our mouth is and let's create a product where the fans and fan engagement can really determine the value of a player. Right. So that's what we came to create, and it's super exciting. And I'll dive in a little bit more about.
Right. So it's like so basically what you've told me about it is that you can create essentially a meme coin, a token of every NBA player. Right. Do you have licensing for this? Are you working with the NBA, or is this more fan fiction style?
No, this is like fan. So with us, the reason why the cool thing about it is that one thing about the NBA in terms of licensing, right? As long as you don't use the jersey that says Lakers.
Okay.
So you can.
So it's just the names.
Yes, you can
of
use
the players.
face, avatar.
So,
yeah, you can.
So we've got the avatar of the player, and you are given. You described it to me as like you're given like a pack, like a 5-pack, right? When you open up those basketball cards, and each player's is associated on the blockchain. They are. Wait. Help me out here.
Yeah, let me get you. Okay, I got you. I got you. So what we did is basically tokenize each and every player in the NBA. Every player on the active roster, we tokenize them. And the way we made it cool and bring that kind of that fan experience is that I know most gentlemen in here, remember when you were as a kid and used to open up the card packs, that was the excitement. You didn't know what's in there. You don't know if you're gonna get a Vince Carter or you're gonna get a rookie LeBron James jersey, a card, right? A rookie card. So for us, we did a pack. We do it through packs, very similar to other platforms are doing, where you open a pack, and you're gonna get 5 cards, which is 5 players. So then you'll be given shares of that player, right? So the cool thing, it's almost like, imagine Pump Fun meets Polymark with a prediction market, but letting us as a fans really determine guys' value. And like we had a conversation was like 2 examples, right? Paul George and Jared McCain. I don't know how many people are very familiar with those guys. Gentleman right there knows. So obviously everyone knows how great Paul George is as a player, right? All-star player, very good player. But Jerry McCain is a very talented player, but his social media side and his off-the-court impact in terms of how big he is, he's the kid that's doing all the TikTok dances. I mean, he's got like millions of views,
You're
right?
talking to the wrong girl.
So with him, the fans might value him more than Paul George. And the cool thing about it is, yes, 80% of the value is going to be performance-based, but also it's also your off-the-court. And another good example is like Travis Kelce, right? Travis Kelce, great player. When he started dating Taylor Swift, his value went up. It's no different. Token goes up when you have off the court, good or bad. So that's how we made it, where it's more the fan, but it's more like the adrenaline rush.
So why would anyone come? So basically, the value of the token is tied to how the player performs on and off the court. There's DraftKings, there's NBA Top Shot. Why would anyone come to this platform? Well,
I think what DraftKings and FanDuel, they've done a good job, but it's very old school mentality, right? I think it's very vanilla, and it's very, people are just tired and bored of it. I mean, think about this right now. Look at Polymark is getting so much mindshare and taking away so much of the dollars from these platforms because people like the fast, adrenaline, quick, especially with live sports, things can change in a minute. When you go on DraftKings and you want to place a bet, you got until the tip-off. Once the tip-off starts, you're stuck in that bet. But the cool thing about us is that you'll be able to pull in and out of your trades and bets at any moment of the game. Obviously, with the last 2 minutes left or when the game's over, you can't pull out your bet because you have a penalty. But that's what we created, right? Like we said, what this is about, being a disrupt. So this is what we're about. This is what we're about, and I'm excited about it.
Well, how accessible is it to someone who wants to, take part in this but doesn't want to get involved in crypto? They don't have a wallet.
That's the cool thing about it. Crypto's all under the hood.
Okay.
It's all under the hood, and I think that's where, for me, was very important, is because I come from the Web 2 world. My native background is Web 2, and what I always tell founders is that how are you going to be able to take your Web 3 project or a program and be able to get the mass adoption? You can't make people, like you said, when people hear crypto sometimes, they get a little nervous, right? But for us, that's why MoonPay's done such a good job, where just the on-ramping is super easy, whether it's Apple Pay, what we're going to provide, tap to pay, it's going to be super easy where you won't know it's crypto under the hood.
Okay, and then so we've had some recent controversy with NBA players betting on themselves and on their own games. In the sports betting world, can players own their own meme coins, essentially? Because you said that, yes, you get the 5-pack, but there's also going to be a secondaries market where you can, trade players, essentially.
Yeah. The reality is this, right? And this is why I'm very motivated to do something like this, is because it's very interesting that the fact that these companies,
Which
like
companies?
the NBA,
Okay.
the NHL, they are able to sign deals with betting platforms and generate revenue and make money, which we never see those deals, by the way. When it comes to negotiating the CBA, we don't see those deals. We don't see those numbers. We only receive the numbers that they want to show us. So for us, if players choose to want to be on this platform and play with Basketball.fun and buy their own tokens and play the game, that's on them. But I mean, that's the cool thing about the blockchain, is that it's fully private. I'm not sitting here and telling guys, go and buy your token, run it up. But like, I'm Costco. Whatever you buy in Costco, that's on you. That's up to you.
But how do you make sure that they are not trying to game the system, right?
I mean, that's the same thing we ask about referees. Are they not gaming the system?
Well, I mean, are you saying that referees are being bribed?
I'm just asking. It's just a question to be asked. I mean, it's a question that everyone asks. I think it's like.
Well, there's ethics involved, right? So there's like a, as a journalist, I'm not allowed to say who I vote for, right? Like I could, or not publicly at least, right? There's ethics that you adhere to, whether or not there's, strict rules for doing so.
Well, I think the world is changing. I think people are respecting more of just honesty and organic and being your true self, and I think that's who I am. So in terms of, people question every day about calls, and I mean, if you go on social media and you go on X, guys know when certain referees are doing certain games, it's no different. Scott Foster and Chris Paul don't like each other, so that game, Chris Paul might not have the best game. So it's very known in fact.
I mean, the world's changing. Is it that we are respecting honesty, or is that we are accepting a lack of decorum, right? We've talked previously about if Trump can have a meme coin, why not NBA players? Which I don't know is a convincing argument.
Yeah, I mean, I think, listen, if President Trump can launch a meme coin and it's accepted, and listen, I mean, if you look at the charts right now, everyone's buying into the token right now, so it's definitely some exciting times in the space. But I think people should be allowed to be their true self and own it. And I think that's something that I'm here to preach, but also it's about fixing the areas that we can be better at. And I think that's Basketball.fun is one of those areas.
Okay, another hard question for you.
I love these questions, by the way.
Okay, great.
I love them.
You say that you care about financial empowerment, financial freedom. Sports betting is, I'm just going to say it, I don't think it's good for men. I don't think it's good for you guys. I think that a lot of men are losing money on sports betting, and I think that it's not contributing to a good mental health outcome for a lot of men. What do you think this will do for them?
So do you think we should just shut down all gaming?
Not all gaming, but maybe betting. I don't know. I don't have a hard opinion, but I think that we should be mindful about how we approach things. And just because something's going to be popular and a lot of people are going to adopt it, that doesn't mean it's going to be a good thing for the world.
Well, I mean, listen, at the end of the day, right, us as human beings, we're always in charge of the decisions that we make in life. I think the reality is that gaming, whether it's betting, it's still a joy and passion. It's a different kind of sport. It's still sport at the end of the day. It's just, yes, there's some risk behind it, but like anything in life, I think there's always risk. It's no different than you invest in a company. Doesn't mean it's going to do well. We're taking that risk. Same thing with betting. You want to bet on something, it's very similar. So I think it's not just only men. I think just everyone, men, women, children. I think everyone bets, right? I think it's the adrenaline rush. It's part of us being humans, right? You strive for something that's going to get you going. So I understand your point where you don't like betting and don't understand that, but it's no different than investing in a project and it goes to zero. Doesn't guarantee you.
Yeah, I mean, the difference is it's retail investors kind of losing a lot of their money that they had worked really hard for, which is a big risk. And
I mean,
Not everyone's an NBA player.
that's true. But I mean, I think at the same time, I've seen a lot of people that have bet and made a lot of money and changed their family's life for a long period of time.
Okay. Now, where do you want to see this? Like, what's the dream if it takes off?
My dream is to have, it's actually a friend of mine at DraftKings, he owns DraftKings. That would be my dream for him to call and say, let's have a conversation.
Oh, you want a little
That's
little
what
merger, little
what it's about.
acquisition?
Yeah, I think that's,
call us if it happens, right?
yeah, this is what I love, right? It's coming and challenging the market. And you know you've done well is when they call your phone. And I mean, that's what I've done with other companies that I've partnered with and built, where it's no different than, I was one of the early investors of Skims, and Nike comes and says, let's do a collab, right? It's being able to take mindshare from someone else to become a person where they want to join forces.
Yeah.
And I'm all about collaboration. That's part of being an athlete. It's part of how I got this far, is being able to work with other people.
Yeah, okay, I'm glad you brought up Skims. So, we're talking crypto, we're talking business, we're talking healthcare. Now, we're not going to go into this because we're not the tabloids, but you've had some public lapses in trust. How are you positioning yourself now when you're talking to investors, business partners, customers? How do you instill trust in them?
Yeah, I mean, listen, at the end of the day in life, we all go through trials and tribulations, and I think that's helped shape me to be the man that I am. Of course, yeah, are you not proud of the situations that you put yourself in? Definitely not, but I think it's part of growing pains. And I think for most people, they understand it's just part of growing up as a human being, right? We're not all perfect, and it's okay to make mistakes. It's how do you come back and triumph through it, and I think America is the best place for that, where the American people love a great comeback story and love a person that will strive, even when they're in the ashes and they're down and people think they're down and out, they triumph through and reach back gold and reach back to the mountaintop. That's what the American way is, right? You might get beat down, but as long as you don't give up and stand back up on your 2 feet and keep pushing through day in and day out, people respect that, and people actually appreciate that, because we're all going through kind of similarities like this, right? Mine was obviously just more public than someone else's, but it also shows people we're also human as well.
Right.
We also make mistakes. We're not just these picture perfect people that live in a bubble in Calabasas.
Yeah, we can clap for that. Absolutely. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you for your honesty. Yeah, and I think that we can look towards, Silicon Valley loves a comeback story as well. They say that if you messed up, you've probably learned from it. I mean, just look at, the WeWork founder and how much investment he's getting today. So, and anyway, hey.
I got it. Go ahead.
Hope you're not in the room. Thank you so much, Tristan, for joining us. We're really happy to have you here. Everyone, please give it up for Tristan Thompson.
Thank you guys so much. Amazing.
Thank you.
Yes, of course.